All right, hi guys, we are back. We're so excited to be here. We've seen such a beautiful response to our community and the comments and our DMs, and we're so excited to be bringing longer videos to you guys. Here with my dad, and he's just gonna talk about the things that he's most passionate about.
There's some things that were said that I wanted to elaborate on. And I want to allay fears about if you decide to educate your child at home. And I don't like to use the word homeschooling. And I'll tell you why. To me, it's a negative connotation. I mean, what is a school? It's a bunch of fish, right? A bunch of fish all going in one direction. We don't want that. We don't want fish. We want individuals. This is home learning. And I had very bad experiences with school when I was younger, and I also had some times when it wasn't so bad. But when I finally got into a high school where I felt comfortable, I had some really wonderful teachers. I had fantastic teachers. I had one teacher in 6th grade that allowed me to teach the class because I was a boy scientist. I had my own chemistry set, and I would do stuff in class for her. Her name was Betty, Mrs. Betty Vaughan, and she was wonderful, and I had wonderful teachers in high school too, and I thank God for them. But I also, what I want to stress to you is that it's a crapshoot. It really is. It's almost like a teacher's sweepstakes, who you wind up with, and it can make you or break you. It could be the best teacher you had in your life. It could be the worst teacher you ever had in your life. You're not in control of any of that anymore. In fact, when you send them to school, there's a lot of things you're not in control of. This morning, I made a list. I use scrap paper because I don't like to throw out anything that will wind up in a landfill. So if I have a piece of paper with the black back of it is open, and in fact, you can see some of my notes here. These are things I want to share with people. Songs you don't know, wonderful songs. Films you should have been fantastic films with wonderful values to them. Books. I read everything. I read the entire Tarzan series, 23 books written by Edgar Rice Burroughs in Old English style, and so I had to learn a lot of words, and I kept a dictionary handy. But reading is so important. And once you decide to put them in school, all those decisions are made by other people. Everything's made by other people. And I'll tell you the thing that I must get across to you. School is an homogenizing device. It makes bricks. It's a brick factory. It turns out little squares. And we're never going to be able to solve the problems of the future, because we're going to see things happening on this planet that have never happened before. Old knowledge is not going to help you any. You need to be able to integrate knowledge. You need to be able to learn something completely disparate fields. I'm an expert in microscopes. I'm also an expert in woodworking. And everything that I have collected, I have learned to repair. So I fix things, and that to me, I'm passionate about. But you can fix the planet, you can fix a soul, you can fix a typewriter. But fixing is part of my life. And there are so many reasons why I thought school was a particularly horrifying experience for me, because you have no control. And as a parent, I mean, I made a list here, okay? Just bear with me. I mean, we're all friends here, right? Okay, reasons to fear school. And I mean public school or otherwise. The first one, the most obvious, is if there's anything unusual about your child, and I mean anything, I mean if one eye is higher than the other, if one pupil is darker than the other, if they have a weird accent, anything, they will find it, and they will lean on it, and they will pick on that kid. And you can make the argument that, well, they need that to toughen them up, but you know what, that's a lousy argument. There's plenty of things in life that'll toughen them up, but you love them, you care about them. Do you know them? Do you know them? What makes them excited? Do they know who they are yet? Do they know you? If you take that education into your hands, if you're lucky enough to be able to do that, that is such a blessing. That is such a blessing. I can think of, I listed 12 things here. I don't even want to bring them up because they're so horrendous. You have no control over what goes on. And you've got to manage that beautiful young plant that you're growing until it can grow up and be on its own. And as Khalil Gibran said in The Prophet, your children are not yours. You get them ready for life. You're like the bow and they're the arrow. You just send them in the right direction. That's about the best you can do. But do it when they're young. Have that basis. We want to know you. We want you to know us. We want to teach you everything we can. We want you to learn completely different fields, as many as possible. We want you to read everything you can read. We want you to be hungry for knowledge. We don't want school to destroy that hunger. So I don't really want a school with little fish going in all the same direction. I want individuals. I want people who discover their own creativity because they're given the tools, they're given the inspiration, they're given the time, they're given the love, they're given the care. That's what I want to do.
I feel like that's what made childhood like really exciting. Like I remember waking up and I'm like, what are we gonna do today? Like the world was like our oyster. I know that's such a cheesy like saying, but like you woke up and it was just like
exactly.
It was like exciting.
And you lose that in school because you got a schedule.
Right. And I know every kid is optimistic like that, right? Like naturally we're born with that, but I felt like I got to hold on to it for so long.
Creativity and curriculum are not compatible.
Yeah.
Unless your curriculum is to be creative and to just discover everything when you're young, because there's that joy. You've got to instill that joy. I want to learn something. I want to use my brain. Knowledge is power. Knowledge is strength, and it's the right kind of power. And it's so important for them to understand. Read everything you can. Learn everything you can. And I would like to help with that. There are songs I want to. I'm a musician. Nobody knows that here, but I am. And I'm a singer and a songwriter, and I've done all that stuff. I've been in front of I've done folk festivals, and I'm a finger picker, and I want to show that too. But what I want to show you is songs. The songs are magic. The old movies that they never got to see, like a classic like Jimmy Stewart and Harvey. It couldn't be more family friendly than that movie. Or Harry and the Hendersons. These are my recommendations, and I want you to let me help you do this home education. That's what it is. It is home, and the home should be a lodge, a place of comfort where you learn just because it's fun to learn. It's very hard for me not to be passionate. I have to kind of cool it all the time, and that's okay. And I grew up in that I was figuring out the range of 20 megaton bomb when I was 12 years old, and everybody else is trying to get a go-kart. I mean, I was just on a different page. I'm studying. I wanted a telescope. I wanted a real camera because I knew somehow that I had and I have patents in photomicroscopy. I am an expert in photomicroscopy. I used to work on Zeiss photomicroscopes, which were $35,000, and none of those people ever suspected that they kicked me out of school in the 11th grade, okay? I never knew.
A lot of people are wondering, because if you didn't know, my dad is about to be 76 years old in July. Happy almost birthday. And they're wondering how, there's no computers back then. How did you learn all this stuff? And
you have to be a sponge. You have to be an intellectual sponge. It's just I felt like the computer that says, give me input. There was a movie about that. Remember, a very funny robot. Input!
Wall-E?
No, it wasn't Wall-E.
No.
It was before Wall-E.
Oh, I know yeah.
Anyhow, I read everything. And I don't know how, in the day before computers, I got this. I was in libraries constantly, and I had been known to have a large selection of books that never quite made it back to the library. And I like to make the joke that it was the Free Library of Philadelphia, and it was going to a good cause because I read every page.
It did go to a good cause. Don't steal anything.
I read.
Unless it's books.
They can have them back if I could find them. But I have about 1,000 books to my name. I haven't counted them.
I'd say more than that.
Probably more than that. I mean, I tend to underplay how much I have collected over the years.
Probably for my mom's sanity.
You can never have too many books, as far as I'm concerned. And after reading Tarzan and science fiction, and I grew up on Rod Serling on The Twilight Zone, and he always had a moral lesson. There was always morality. They don't teach this in school because they don't want to touch the whole object. The subject of morality is very, very tricky.
What would you say to the parent that is scared of being judged by their peers for wanting to raise their children like this and jump outside of the box?
There's no way that's not jealousy. That's what I would say to them.
No way, that's not jealousy.
No way, that's envy. That's envy. They wish they could do what you're doing. Okay, ask yourself, are they maybe just a little narcissistic, these people? Thinking of themselves and not thinking of, look, when you send that kid to school, anything, it's like spinning the wheel of misfortune. Who am I going to get this year? Is there going to be a problem? I've had fights with teachers. I have been fired by pediatricians with my kids. I had
With
kids.
me.
Yes, I got fired by a pediatrician with you, but you don't remember it. I wanted to space those. Yes, we won't get into that. But trust me, I have had arguments with authoritative figures who had too much education and not enough common sense, frankly. Because you can't expect the body to do some of the things that they were expecting the body to do, but we could get into that later. Anyhow, they were raised with independent thought by independent thinkers. And that's what we need. That's what you're doing the right thing. They finished with something I used to tell people, and it's shocking, but it's true. The least safe place for them is school. The least safe place. Everybody there can let them down. The teachers can let them down. The principals, I know the principals can because I've seen it. The security guard can let them down. If there's a problem there, people come there, they lock up the school, you can't get to your kids. Can you imagine? I would go crazy if they told me I couldn't get to my kid. I mean, that's a nightmare. And I would much rather take care of them myself and know that they are safe and know that they are being taught and they're being educated. And that's peace of mind that you can't get when they're somewhere locked up. You can't get to them. You don't know what's going on. You don't know if you're hearing everything that's happening there. Mm-hmm. I promise you're not hearing everything from your child. It's just the way it is. That as they get older, they keep secrets. You have to read into everything.
Like you said, get to know them.
You get to know them. Don't assume you know them. Get to know them. And don't assume they know you. Make them know you. Find out what makes each other tick. What's your purpose in life? Give them a purpose. Because without purpose, we're kind of useless as a species goes without purpose.
They say like the opposite of depression isn't love, it's purpose, right?
Purpose. And gratitude is so important. Gratitude. I wake up, I thank my car when it starts, okay? There's... My people believe you should thank the morning that you got up.
Just thank the day. Thank
the day. Thank the sun. Thank the sky. You are here. Thank you for giving me another day. That's what it's about. Giving me especially when you're my age, you really are grateful. And the sensibilities of someone my age should be somehow implanted in a younger person so that they understand how valuable time is and how valuable purpose is, how valuable parents are, and gratitude, empathy, all these things. Be a good person.
And then I guess last question here as what was the most important thing when you were homeschooling my brother and I? Like what was the most important first lessons you wanted to get in?
The joy of watching something grow.
So gardening.
Yeah, that's where it all starts. And if teachers ask me, which they used to all the time, because I spoke to teachers, I spoke to classrooms, the first thing to teach them is how to plant something, how to make something grow. Put it under one of my microscopes and look at the rhizomes coming up underground and how they're white and they turn green when they hit the sun. Something magical happens.
Because we hear that like a lot of kids like they think their fruit or their vegetable comes from a can. They don't know.
It's a terrible thing.
Yeah. Bless
the farmer. That's one thing I would tell you. Teach them to bless the farmer because he feeds us. And he needs all the help he can get in doing that. And we don't have enough respect for them. The small family farms are disappearing, and it's the small family farms we need. We do not need big, giant... The bigger they are, the nastier things get, okay? Small family farms. Support them if you have any at a local farmer's market. Give them some cash. You have people making something by hand there. Give them some money. Spread some... The money's only good if you give it to other people.
And so for all of our friends watching here today, how would you want to end this video?
I want to be helpful.
You want to be helpful?
I want to make a difference in their lives. I want them to say, you know what, I saw this guy and he said something that stuck with me and I just revelation time. I want you to realize that you can do this and you will enrich yourself by enriching them. That's important.
I heard that too. The more like spiritual, or not even spiritual, but the more in tune with nature and everything you get, you help
Back
your
and
kids
forth.
get
It's
back
a
and
cycle,
forth.
back and forth.
Yeah.
It's a big circle of love and
Yeah.
care and gratitude.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Love you.
Love you too.
He's crying. Great job.